They taught us this, which most can't do. I'll start by saying it this way. What's the first book of the Bible?
Genesis.
And what's the second book of the Bible?
Exodus.
And now what's the third book of the Bible? And now what's the fourth book of the Bible? See, it's getting quieter. Everyone I ask, it gets a little quieter.
The last one is the Italian prophet Malachi.
The last one is Malachi. So, from the age of 7, this is what my parents made us memorize. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1 Samuel, 1 Kings, 1 Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalm, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi. Now that's the books of the Old Testament, except that even if I made a mistake, you wouldn't have known it. But I did make a mistake because I left 7 books out, because the Catholic Bible is bigger. And then I realized that on Main Street of any city, USA, you have on one side of the street Burger King, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, and KFC. On the other side of the street, you have Baptist, Methodist, Lutheran, Mormon, Presbyterian. In lunch, when you're hungry and you decide to go out to eat, how do you decide which restaurant you eat at? There's a simple way to find out what restaurant you should eat at. You ask a question, what do I feel like today? Do I feel like chicken or a pizza? Janet says she wants a hamburger, so today we'll go there. What do I feel like is how I pick our restaurants. Now, Sunday morning comes along, and I drive down Main Street, and I have as many options on the other side, all these churches. How do I decide what church to go to? What do I feel like today? Say, for example, Janet had an abortion, which she hasn't. But say you had an abortion. How are you going to decide what church to go to? Go to a church that says it's okay to get an abortion, because then you won't have a hurt conscience. And the preacher will preach and he won't mention it, and it's okay, and then your conscience isn't bothering you. Or say you have a lot of kids and you want entertainment. Well, there's churches that will take you for entertainment, these big mega churches that have theater-style seating set up. And there's a coffee bar out in the front, a coffee shop, and you get your cappuccino and you come into the church and you set it in the cup holder right next to you Catholics don't know about this, but these mega churches, they have coffee cup holders right there, and you bring your coffee in with you, a double shot of hazelnut in your espresso, and whatever, and you set it there and you're ready for the show to begin, and then they pump up the volume, and this is real worship because the music is loud. We're now at Orvieto. We're going up to the cathedral to see the great Eucharistic miracle, and we're actually going to go on this cable car. It's actually a train. You can see right there, it's going to go up that track up to the top of the hill. It's pretty steep. So everybody's loading into this little mountain train, and we're going to go up. So this is a cathedral here in Orvieto, and everybody's amazed by it. Can't even fit it all in the video, so I'm going to go up the left side to the top and come back down the other side so you can get at least an idea of what this thing is like. This is the miracle of Orvieto, where a priest who doubted was offering Mass on his way to Rome to find out more about, to cure his doubts on the Eucharist.
and blood dripped from the host onto the corporal. This was in the 1200s, and it's been proved that it was real blood of type AB. We are having Mass at the crypt, and the bones, and you can see them, of St. Felix are under the altar. He was killed during Diocletian Emperor in the 3rd century, 2nd, 3rd century, and he refused to give up Scripture, so he was beheaded. So this is the bones of St. Felix from the 3rd or 4th century under Diocletian, who gave up his life because he refused to give them the Scriptures. They demanded he give up the Scriptures. He said no. They gave him 3 days to change his mind. He said no. And then they cut off his head. And there, by the way, is his head, right there, his skull. Well, we hit the jackpot again for dinner here at a very nice restaurant in Orvieto. It's the environment, ambiance, very, very nice. And the dinner's already beginning.
It's simple story.
No? That's why the Eucharist is such an important word for us.
Giving thanks.
It's such a meaningful word. It's giving thanks because, again, we go back to St. John. First letter, chapter 4, is love consists in this, not that we first loved, but he loved us first. And so we thank God. All our life is just thanking God for all He gave us.
And it was one of those dreams where I think I better check. My period wasn't even due yet, and I was 48 years old, and I was pregnant. Sure enough, and I backdated to the day I would have conceived, and I would have conceived on the day that he died. So I believe that my prayer was answered when John Paul died. He heard the prayer, and so I went to the doctor that day and got hormones and stuff because we were on our way to the island of Guam the next day. She gave me hormones, said there was a 60% chance of miscarriage, and told me what to expect and what to do, and on and on. Steve announced it on Catholic Answers that night, and we had the whole world praying for us, basically. And I did end up losing the baby, but we believe that we do have a little priest in heaven named John Joseph. He would have been Father J.J. Ray.
So we take the contract and take the money. He said, fine. We were friends. We're still friends today. And so in February of 2000, I started Teresa Tomeo Communications, and within 3 months of that, I get a call from a person that Steve Ray was on the air with today, Sean Harriott, who now works at Relevant Radio, who was the program director of an evangelical station. At the time, I didn't know it, but he was converting to Catholicism. He calls me up, and we had been friends. We were in this Christian media group, and he says, T, we love your work. I've got this opening. So for 2 years, I worked on an evangelical station as a Catholic on this evangelical station, honing my skills as a talk show host, learning what Protestants believed and be able to defend the faith better.